Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, For Real This Time.
For real this time.
Second episode.
We have a podcast now.
So this is our podcast, Why Did You Send Me This? Where me, Ali,
Maddie.
And Ariane.
we all send each other a meme of our choosing each week, and we come on here to discuss why we sent it, why we think it's funny, and why we think you guys should hear it too.
Yeah, and something that I really liked from doing this with you guys is I get to hear you ramble about something that you're really excited about. Like, I think we all have those niche little corners of interests and things that we don't really know about each other. And I think it's really fun to have you share something that I wouldn't have asked you about.
It's nice to see people excited.
Yeah, and I'm like, I have no idea about this world of yours, but please enlighten me.
Yeah, I love it.
As you may notice, we have some better quality microphones. We have video this week. We spent a lot of hours with ChatGPT this week to figure out how to do this and figure out how to properly set this up.
Because as we said last week, we are committed, guys. I know you were kind of worried, but Maddie says that you may not see us again, but we came back stronger, we came back better, and now this, I think, is going to be our setup for the foreseeable, so...
We'll see how editing goes. If editing is as tiresome and aggravating as it was last week, we might be changing again next week. Genuinely trying to figure out how to edit that last week, a lot of swear words were said.
It was when, I think it was like 11 p.m. I went into Maddie's room like, hey, going to bed, you okay? And she was like hoodie pulled up, drawstring tight, huddled over her laptop, trying to edit. And she was like, the cats just keep on coming in and distracting me, and I just can't do it.
I was on the verge of tears, and Ali was just like, do you need anything? And I was like, I need you to go away.
She was like, I need silence, and you cannot be here right now.
Yeah, it was rough, but we have a better setup now.
Mm-hmm.
We are better rested. Don't try something new when you're sleep deprived. That was a bad idea on my part.
Can we also just take a moment to remember our mics from the first week's episode? I will forever miss holding my spatula.
Also, we did record it, but it was so bad, the video, that you guys didn't see really what we were using on our microphones.
The only evidence is in the photo on our Instagram. Go follow us. Why did you send me this with a U, not spelled U?
Properly spelled out was taken. Apparently, we didn't have an original idea.
But definitely go see it so you can see what we used as our mics in round one.
Yeah, we just had these tiny little mics that influencers use because they were the cheapest thing we could get.
Little clip-ons.
And we just like clipped them onto my lip balm, a spatula, and a pencil.
Yeah.
So we really upgraded.
And you know what? I think that actually says a lot about our personalities too, right? Because Ariane does loads of baking and she is a whiz in the kitchen.
Are you calling me superficial?
No, I'm just saying you just have gorgeous lips.
And you really need to moisturize your lips.
It is dry out here.
Girl, keep putting it on.
I really appreciate you spending so much time staring at my lips.
Yeah.
Some things I didn't know about Ali.
And what was your tool again?
It was a pencil.
Oh, yeah.
So like, yeah, I'm pretty creative.
Yeah, you have a lot of startup hobbies.
Yeah, I'm not very good at drawing, but I like it. Oh, my paint by numbers. I'm great at paint by numbers. Yeah.
Actually, the painting behind Ariane's head, Ali painted herself.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So jumping into our memes of the week. I went first last week, so who wants to go first this week?
I can go first. Yeah.
Ariane, what do you have for us this week?
I have a short video that came across my desk from multiple people. There's a pub in Toronto. I'm assuming everybody listening to this right now is from Toronto, called the Madison Avenue Pub, the Maddie. It is notoriously very busy on St. Patrick's Day and typically a very packed university bar throughout the week. This past Monday, someone seems to have fallen through the third floor.
But like fallen through the third floor, how?
It's very alarming to watch because you don't see the entire thing happen. I would suggest a quick little view.
Oh, he came from the ceiling.
from the ceiling, like through the ceiling.
Like he fell through the roof.
I thought he was it panned to him just on the floor, and I was like, oh, he tripped.
No, because he came from above.
He landed like the way Glinda does in Wicked, basically, but a little bit more abruptly.
The way that he just quickly gets up and grabs his shoe, like he was embarrassed.
I think I would be embarrassed too, right?
Yeah.
Well, what do you do in that? What do you do in that situation?
I think the only thing to do is get up quickly, just say I'm good, you know, hey everybody, like I'm alive.
Was it busy too?
It was so packed, and it typically is over the weekend and holidays. There's multiple floors, so he must have just been having a nice casual time on the floor above and then ended up a floor below.
Allie, you didn't go to university here, so have you been to the Madison Avenue pub?
I've been. It was at like an after party for like a film festival.
What did you think of your visit there?
It was like sticky floors. What you would expect from like a college university bar for sure. Yeah, like cheap drinks. There was a lot of wood.
There's a lot of wood. There's different vibes. In the summer, it's actually fantastic. They have a patio on the top floor, which I think is maybe where a friend came from. And there's a pub in the basement. There's also a floor where they have like a piano bar.
It's very easy to get lost.
It's multifaceted.
But the reason I sent this to both of you, I guess, is a little bit of a shorter sequence, but I went to the University of Toronto. Did you go to the Maddie growing up as well, too?
Growing up.
Asking Maddie if she went to the Maddie, great.
Every time I went to the Madison Avenue pub, people would not believe me that my name was Maddie.
Oh, really?
So like guys would be talking to me like, oh, what's your name? I'm like, Maddie. And they're like, why are you giving me a fake name?
Would you ever get free drinks?
Well, because I'm a girl, not because of my name.
No, but like to say that you're Maddie at the Maddie, you know what I mean?
No, because nobody would believe me.
Not even the bar staff?
No!
When they looked at your ID?
Well, my ID is my full name.
Oh.
Everyone thought that when I said my name was Maddie, they're like, oh, you're just saying the name of the bar. That's not really your name.
Yeah.
So to all those boys, I'm not lying. That was my name.
Maddie at the Maddie.
But we used to go, it was always a Thursday night thing. I was U of T Scarborough.
Yeah.
It was a trek.
Is there a bit of rivalry between like main campus and Scarborough?
Main campus was just superior.
Downtown?
So the answer to that is yes.
Yeah, I went downtown, and our sorority house was located 2 houses up from the Maddie. So it was very convenient to just pop over there on a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Thursday, perhaps on a weekend night as well. So I spent a lot of time there growing up. I have to stop saying that.
Yeah, when you're 18, you are still growing up.
You're not really an adult until you're like 25.
Oh, wait, sorry, what's the drinking age here?
19.
Okay, so when you're 19, you're still, growing up and figuring it out.
It was, I think, maybe the first bar I had ever gone to once I became legal as well, too. And a friend and I were sitting on the top floor that we were talking about, pretending to be greeters for the Maddie. And every time someone would walk up the stairs there, too, we would go, hi, welcome to the Maddie. We're your official greeters. Let us know if you need anything. We'll just be over here at this table. And they would go, oh my God, thank you so much.
People walking past being like, are you on the payroll?
They were also confused because no one had ever seen that before. And they're like, do you actually work here?
Did you get anything out of this?
Entertainment. Pure entertainment. And
That's very 19-year-old behavior of you.
But I think it's also an excuse to talk to people, right?
it was so easy to chat with people in that situation. We were even talking about this week, like, what's a good way to go up to someone and start a conversation? Jimmy Neutron. That would have been a really good example, too.
There was this guy, we went to an event, no joke, he looked like Jimmy Neutron. The hairline was exactly the same. And once we figured it out, we just couldn't unsee it.
I know.
It was uncanny.
But then we were trying to decide when is the appropriate time to bring that up. Is it going to ruin his night?
Or is it like, do you go in, that's the first thing you say? Or you chat a little bit and be like, hey, you know what you remind me of?
So what did we decide on doing?
We let him be because he actually went up on stage and played guitar, and he was an excellent guitar player. And then he disappeared. I don't know where he went. He was too famous, I guess, for us.
We were like, we'll leave him with his ego intact, I think.
I will close off our meme so that we can keep this going. But I sent it to you because that was my second home in university. My mom used to refer to it as my house, and my sorority house was my closet. So I spent a lot of time there. I really hope it's still in good shape. I'm sorry that this man fell through the roof. I hope he's doing well okay.
Did he get in trouble?
I don't think so. I don't assume that would be his fault unless he made a hole intentionally. I worry that's a structural problem with my beloved home.
Okay, so we forgot to describe the meme. It's a video of this guy's playing guitar, and then it pans to this kid falling through the ceiling and getting up and acting like everything's totally fine. he starts putting his shoe back on.
Wait, his shoe came off in the video? I think I missed that bit.
He was really disheveled.
And he just was like embarrassed and got out of there real quick.
I wonder if he had any other injuries.
I don't know, but he clearly was not sober. But the roof was like that clear plastic sunroof.
Oh.
Clearly was somewhere where he shouldn't have been. It wasn't like the floor gave out. It was some thin vinyl plastic that was to protect from rain that he fell through.
Uh-oh.
It's really fascinating.
We've got a bit of a parkour expert on our hands, it sounds like. Do we feel like the Maddie is it still open?
Oh yeah, it's going strong.
That bar, she powers on. Nothing, rain, snow.
She's never let me down.
It's always a medium good time.
A grand old time on a Monday.
People there, you're constantly questioning, are you of age?
Yes.
Are you able to be here?
Okay, out of 5 stars, what would you rate the Maddie?
If you're under 25, 5 stars. That is the spot to be. If you're over 25, get the fuck out of there.
I agree. Like 6 out of 5 for me, just because it has really happy memories there. But yeah, I don't think it's appropriate to go if you're over the age of 25.
But can I just say for structural integrity, we're giving it a 0 out of 5 stars.
This man was somewhere he shouldn't have been.
Nah, I still feel like the roof should not cave in, but...
Do you think he is getting compensated for his potential injury?
Oh, I should hope so.
I mean, he got up and walked out, so I'm sure he's fine.
And also, it's on video. There's evidence.
It's everywhere now, too.
Well, Allie and I were talking about this on the way home from yoga yesterday morning of like, if I got hit by a car, just like a gentle bump. I don't want to have lifelong injuries.
Oh, you were saying you wanted your ankle to break, right?
Yeah, like if I could get hit by a car.
What a statement. If I could get hit by a car.
If I could get hit by a car, breaking like only my ankle. Like I've already broken my ankle before, so it's an old injury. It's going to be, arthritic when I'm old anyways. And then get compensated heavily because I can't work. I work an office job.
How are you supposed to get there?
Exactly. Get a nice insurance payout, pay off my student loans.
What car would you want to be hit by?
Something that I know would have insurance and not just drive off. Like a Lexus. You know what? A Volvo. People who drive Volvos are very responsible.
Subaru could be a good option, too.
But do you want something that's like would crumple a little bit to show that something happened?
A new vehicle that I know has that built-in camera.
Also needs to be a sedan style. I don't want an SUV hitting me.
I want a hatchback.
If I have to get hit by a car, it would be a Subaru hatchback. Because the lesbians would not drive off.
Yeah.
It's a very responsible car. Mm-hmm. They definitely have insurance.
What color? If you had to choose.
Red.
Red? No, you want your blood to show up. You want a different color.
So white. I would do white so that my blood shows up better.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Oh my God. Okay. Shall we go on to our next one?
On to the next.
I'll go. So obviously I'm from the UK and I feel like a lot of my Instagram feed is stories that happen in the UK that maybe didn't make their way over here.
So it's a picture of a nurse and what looks like could be an animal. And it says, woman nurses hedgehog overnight only to discover it was a hat bauble. For those of you who might not know what a hat bauble is, it's a pom-pom that you'd find on top of a toque.
It's so adorable.
I have a lot of questions.
Is that like some wet cat food?
Yes.
Yeah.
With a box and this gray and black hat bauble.
Could be animal.
Unconfirmed.
Do you read us what it says?
The way that I see this too is it's the most adorable, like, Good Samaritan thing you could do. Like, this lady found a hedgehog on the side of a road. Like it's too early for hedgehogs to come out of hibernation right now. She was like, oh, I have to take this to the vet. I have to make sure it's okay. Put it in a little box. Yeah, with the newspaper down, a little bit of cat food on the side. Took it to the vets, thought she was doing this amazing, lovely thing. And like growing up in the UK, like I've done this a few times too, where you find hedgehogs that are stationary and they're not moving and you want to make sure they're okay. So I totally get why she was doing it. And then apparently the nurse opened the box thinking it would be this hedgehog. It was just totally not a hedgehog whatsoever. But I have to say, from a distance, it does look like a hedgehog.
I have a lot of questions. 1, is she a real nurse?
I think so.
Okay, interesting. 2, you've held a hedgehog, it sounds like, in the past.
Yes.
Are they soft?
No. You would always have to use like garden gloves.
Okay.
So maybe, but surely the weight,
The weight was my next question.
because hedgehogs like naturally they curl into a ball.
Do hedgehogs just run wild in the UK?
Yeah,
Really? Do you see, are they like a rat?
they're pretty scared, so I feel like they don't come out with humans a lot. They're quite timid creatures. Pretty sure they're nocturnal, right?
You would know better than we would.
Yeah, they're your native species.
I feel like if that's incorrect, please edit that out.
I am responsible for editing, not fact checking.
I'll check.
Yeah.
So how many hedgehogs have you rescued?
I think growing up at my parents' house, I can count 3 different instances where there's been like a hedgehog in our front drive that we've had to like
And you find it like curled up?
usually curled up, or sometimes they're a bit like flat.
Why are they flat?
No, well that's not good.
They're not doing well.
It's not how you want to find.
The hedgehog is flat like a pancake.
No, just like lying spread eagle a little bit, you know, like
It's a great position.
Have you ever tried this one?
like you don't see them often. Like you don't see them as much as you do like rabbits or squirrels or anything like that. They are very, I'm almost certain they are nocturnal.
Not as frequent as a raccoon per se.
No, the raccoons you see quite a lot actually.
Yeah.
They are not timid.
The Toronto raccoons are...
A different breed. It's the way they have hands too.
So cute.
Do you have raccoons in the UK? Mm-mm. I would rather have hedgehog than Toronto raccoons.
Me too.
The Toronto raccoons are different than regular raccoons.
They're very bold.
Okay, let's say you guys saw a raccoon on the side of the road and you were like, maybe it needs some assistance. Would you pick it up, like put it in a box, take it somewhere, or would you call someone?
Odds it's sick are pretty high, I feel like. So I wouldn't want to pick it up because what if it bit me?
Yeah.
Even the other day, I was telling you guys, I was walking over here and there was a raccoon just doing its thing in the middle of the street, and I crossed and walked so quickly away from it. They used to often sit on my parents' porch, on the chairs sometimes. They made themselves comfortable.
That's kind of too human.
It was scary with their hands. They're just having a little cup of coffee, apparently. Enjoyed the view.
A little chin wag. The other day we got home and Ali, you said that there was someone who saw a coyote.
Yeah, outside our building.
There is a big coyote problem here.
I did not move to the city to be scared of coyotes.
Nah. You just clap and they go away, I think, right? I don't know. I made that up. Don't believe me, guys.
I think it works. Sometimes a couple shrieks here and there tends to do well. Although I'm a city kid, I grew up next to the park, and oftentimes there would be coyotes in our backyard. So my dog's barking typically helped to get rid of it, but otherwise I would do some shrieking and it would assist, I find.
Quite cathartic as well, I can imagine.
You know that trend that's going around right now? That's like a moment that felt like Hosier's cry.
Yeah.
That was that.
Okay, well, to wrap it up, I just thought that was very adorable. I just think that poor lady who thought she was doing a really, really lovely thing.
She was bamboozled.
She was just, maybe she wasn't wearing her glasses. I don't know.
If there's anyone who believes to see the greater good, it's that woman. But definitely take a look next time. Weight is really important.
I don't know.
Okay.
All right.
So it is Sunday, which means it's race day.
Even though you guys are listening to this on Tuesday.
Tuesday is the best case scenario, depending on how good I am at editing this week.
Yeah, you guys are listening to this on insert day of the week here.
This morning was the Chinese Grand Prix.
Are you putting spoilers?
Okay, so here's the thing. I haven't watched the race yet.
Me neither.
The race was at 3 a.m. our time.
Yes.
And I wanted to get up and watch it, except Ali said no. So we were going to watch it this morning. No spoilers, no going on the internet. I've done this a few times where we've been like a complete social media blackout when we wake up and then we watch the race together.
Little top tip, the best way to do this is if you mute the F1 Instagram page before the race. So then none of it comes up.
Problem is my entire For You page is just F1 memes.
How many F1 meme accounts do you follow?
Dozens. Yeah.
Do you actually follow them or they just pop up?
Oh, I follow them and I follow most of the teams as well. And the teams all post like their results.
Unless they lose, then they don't post anything.
Williams always posts, and that's what I'm most concerned about. So yeah, we haven't watched the race yet because we were going to watch it this morning. First thing we woke up, but then we had to go to yoga and then we had to record the podcast. So I haven't watched the race yet.
But this meme came from just after qualifying though.
Yeah, this meme came from qualifying.
Guys, it's going to be based pure description, no names, no anything, just perhaps what the people look like. Oh, wow. I see. Is that Max Verstappen? Do I see him in there? Am I making that up?
I don't think so.
Come, my child, join us, is what it says. And it looks like they're in heaven. And there's 4 boys on the screen who are, I think, in heaven, and then another blonde man in the corner who clearly looks like he's maybe going up to heaven. And that's what I've got for a description for you.
All right, Allie, do you want to add a little bit of color to this?
Well, it looks like heaven. And yeah, come my child, join us, a little speech bubble. And we have Alex Albon, Sergio Perez, Danny Rick, and Pierre Gasly at the top saying, come my child, join us. And then at the bottom we have our little rookie, Liam Lawson.
Oh, I know that name.
Well, that's a step up. Look at you. Look at you.
He's on the Red Bull team?
He is on the Red Bull team.
See, I'm learning, guys.
So the meme is Red Bull is notorious for being a very cutthroat team. They have very little patience for their drivers to succeed because Max, they got him and he was so good. Fresh out the gate. We are not Max Verstappen fans in this household because of Abu Dhabi 2021. If you know, you know. So we kind of root for anyone but Max. When Max started winning, he was with Daniel Ricciardo, who crowd favorite, who quickly left Red Bull due to many reasons.
And he went on to McLaren afterwards as well, right? And this is all about the second seat in Red Bull. That's what it is, because every F1 team has 2 drivers per race, I guess. And there's like a clear first seat a lot of the time and a clear second seat.
Yeah, so they usually have like a more senior driver and then a more, not maybe not a rookie, but like a more junior driver, and they call them the first driver and the second driver.
Yeah.
There's some teams that really deny having team orders of first and second drivers. So Max has been struggling to keep a teammate for most of his time at Red Bull. So it started with Daniel Ricciardo, who was a crowd favorite. He's kind of like the funny, happy-go-lucky guy. You've seen him so far in Drive to Survive.
Yes.
He went to McLaren after, and many a teams after that.
It's kind of sassy.
He was quickly followed by Alex Albon, my boy at Williams, who was dropped mid-season, Pierre Gasly, who was dropped mid-season, Checo Perez, who had a real decline in form and was rumored many times to be dropped mid-season. He wasn't dropped mid-season. He was dropped right after the end of the season to be replaced with Liam Lawson. People had really high expectations for Liam Lawson. He was actually in the more junior team, which is the RB Racing Bull Visa Cash App.
VCARB.
Really whatever they want, whatever sponsor will pay for naming rights team. Yeah, so he was racing with them last year for the end of last year after they dropped Daniel Ricciardo mid-season because he ended up there for a little bit. There's lots of sponsors on that name. Liam Lawson was brought in mid-season in attempt to increase performance at Racing Bull. It didn't help.
But now he's a Red Bull.
Yeah, so when Checo Perez got dropped, they brought Liam Lawson in. So what's funny about the meme is that now bringing him into Red Bull, he qualified P20 last race.
For the Australian Grand Prix?
Yeah, for the Australian Grand Prix, he qualified P20. He crashed out and didn't finish.
But also there were like 5 or 6 DNFs in that race.
It's a rough one for the rookies especially. And then his qualifying for the sprint race was like P19. And then his qualifying for the race today was P20. Comparatively, Max Verstappen came in second last week and has pretty decent qualifyings, always top 5.
Yeah.
In the same car, they're getting very different results. And I love to see it because it leaves some space at the top of the grid for my boys. And I also just love the revenge era that both Yuki, who is another driver who was considered to have the seat. It's funny because he is likely, if I have any of my suspicions, that he is going to join the long list of failed Max Verstappen teammates.
R.I.P.
Where do you think he would go?
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
But a reverse question, let's say they did drop him, who would take his seat for the rest of the season? Who's still available?
Well, that's the problem that they've had is they've gotten themselves into such a position. Red Bull, as a collective, has brought in more junior drivers into Formula One than any other team or constructors. Some great names like Carlos Sainz, Daniel Ricciardo, Max Verstappen, Alex Albon, Pierre Gasly are all part of the junior Red Bull program. And they now have Isaac Hadjar, they have Yuki Tsunoda, Liam Lawson, and Max Verstappen on the grid because they have 2 teams. The problem is I think Yuki should have gotten that seat.
Wow, like he finished, he finished really well, didn't he? In qualifying, he got a high position, right?
Yeah, I don't quite remember. But he was doing so well. The car just might be overall better than the Red Bull, and Max is just an incredible driver. I think the car has some fundamental problems.
Can we remember who the Red Bull reserve drivers are? Because that might be an indication of like who would.
Yeah, this is really just turning into an F1 podcast.
But totally right. They do say that the Red Bull second seat is a curse. And anyone who's in that isn't going to last more than a few seasons.
Because Max is just such a tough teammate to compare to because the car is designed for Max.
Yeah, they used all his feedback, hey?
He has a very specific way of driving that no one else can really seem to keep up with.
Interesting. Does he, like, ever offer them tutorials? I think Max should give them a, hey, this is how you drive my car. You won't beat me, but you can try.
Red Bull, take some advice from Marianne. How about
Help your second drivers up.
How about Max just teaches driver's ed?
He should.
That would actually be so entertaining.
Could you imagine how quick that would fill up?
Having a Formula One driver teach you how to drive a vehicle.
I don't know if I could get in that car.
I think that's something that I want on my bucket list. In Camila Cabello's music video, Lewis Hamilton's in it, driving a fast car, and she's just in the passenger seat vibing and living her best life. I need that. I just want to be driven around by a Formula One driver, preferably Lewis Hamilton. I just want to be in the passenger seat as you gun it down a road that definitely you weren't driving the speed limit on.
Okay, I have a bit of tea from my little internet research I was just doing now. So apparently the Red Bull reserve driver for the 2025 season is Yuki Tsunoda, who is concurrently driving for the Racing Bulls.
Yeah, but do you think Helmut Marko would let Yuki get in that seat full time?
If they drop Liam Lawson, I think it's anyone's game, right?
Who knows?
Well, there we have it. Our 3 memes of the week.
Memes.
Thoughts, feelings, wrapping up. A little final thanks for listening. And now we can hopefully confidently say, fingers crossed, that you can watch us now on our YouTube channel, as well as listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
You can follow us, as we said, on Instagram. Why did you send me this? You spelled just with the letter U. And on TikTok, why did you send me this? You spelled Y-O-U.
Wait, is TikTok and Instagram different?
No, I lied. Sorry, guys. Cut that out.
If you type out why are you send me this on TikTok, you'll get a lobster like jumping out of a car.
When I was making the link tree, I think I put that link in, and for some reason it was auto-populating this ugly lobster picture. And I was like, oh my god, like, where did this come from? Like, that's a weird suggested, like, photo to have for our page. And it all makes sense now. But yeah, follow us on Instagram and TikTok. We'll share on our personal socials too.
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Ariane was the first one to post it. And genuinely, I was busy on Friday. I just didn't have a chance to. And we got to yoga on Saturday morning. And she was like, literally came in storming like, guys, why haven't you reposted this on your stories?
I was too busy having a mental breakdown over trying to figure out our recording system.
Which is fair.
I will repost this one. Hi, Mom. I have a podcast now.
Oh, I didn't even tell my parents either.
One of the first links I sent, I sent like the test one to my sister and then I sent it to my mum.
Okay, well, that's a wrap. Thanks for listening to Why Did You Send Me This? I hope we all learnt why we sent our niche little corners of the internet to each other this week.
Catch you in the next one.
Toodles!
Peace out, my dudes. Have a great week.
And if you don't bother coming back next week.